So then they said, no, we will return, we will give you back, we will refund 25%. Gandhiji demanded 50%, and then they said 25%. And surprisingly, Gandhiji agreed. He said, okay, fine, 25% is fine. I'm ready to get this 25%. So the settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission. Gandhi explained that the amount of refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. So Gandhiji said that amount of money is not as important as the great thing that we have done. Okay, that the landlords were able to let go their prestige, to let go their ego, and that they were able to, and they were finally surrendering. The farmers were winning. The farmers had the courage in them now. The farmers had the courage in them. The farmers are not afraid of them anymore. And they want to compromise. They have decided to be nice. And with that, 25% refund is coming. So Gandhiji thought that it was a really nice thing for the beginning, for the start. So as far as the farmers were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law. Now the peasants saw that he had rights and defenders. He learned courage. So courage is a thing that keeps us free. They had now learned an important lesson of courage, which would help them in the future. Now nobody can oppress them ever, because they have now learned this secret. And what is it? Courage. Courage is the thing that keeps us free. Events justified Gandhi's position. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their estates, which reverted to the farmers. Indigo sharecropping disappeared. And Gandhiji contented himself with large political or economic solutions. He saw the cultural and social backwardness in the Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. Now, Gandhiji felt satisfied and content. Okay, and he also realized that if here we have defeated the British, we can defeat them in the entire country. If we all get the courage like this, if we all defend our country like this, if we all stand up together with unity against them, we can win. So after resolving this issue, after solving this problem, he paid attention on other things there in Champaran, and he realized that he needed to do something about social, cultural backwardness which he found in the villages of Champaran, and he wanted to do something about it immediately. He appealed for teachers, Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh, two young men who had just joined Gandhiji as disciples, and their wives volunteered for the work. Now, since people were illiterate there, illiteracy was everywhere, and this was one of the main reasons that the British were able to fool them and treat them with, with unjust behavior. It was because of their illiteracy and other things. Gandhiji decided that he needs to spread education here. He appealed for the teachers, and two names we have here, Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh. These are the two young teachers. They came with their wives. So they are 4 people working in this social cause. They volunteered for this work. Several more came from Bombay, and many other people और भी लोग कई आगे बॉम्बे से, पूना से और दूसरे parts से इंडिया के. Devdas, Gandhi's youngest son, Gandhi के सबसे छोटे बेटे Devdas, arrived from the ashram. He came from the ashram, and so did Mrs. Gandhi, and wife of Gandhiji. She also arrived. Now they have gathered together to raise the standard of living of the farmers, of the people living in the Champaran, to give them education, okay, to make them better people than ever, okay. So, education makes a man a human being. Education makes a woman a human being. We are just a man, a woman, just like an animal, a bird. But education makes us human beings, okay? So education is very important. It plays a very important role. Kasturbai taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness and community sanitation. And cleanliness is very, very important. It is of utmost importance, okay? So we should all make sure that there is cleanliness in our houses. So, and also everywhere we should keep ourselves clean. Gandhiji's wife, she taught about personal cleanliness and community sanitation. Health conditions were miserable. Health conditions were also miserable there. They needed hospitals and clinics there. So Gandhiji got a doctor. He called a doctor. He provided, three medicines were available: castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. And so Gandhiji arranged for all these things also. Gandhiji noticed the filthy state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. Gandhiji observed the filthy state of women's clothes there. Now, he could not, it would be inappropriate for him to talk to a lady or talk to women about their clothes. So he requested his wife, ki you talk to them and find out what the matter is. So one woman took Kasturbai into her hut and said, so one woman took Kasturbai, Gandhiji's wife, to her hut, come with me, and said, look, there is no box of cupboard here for clothes. The sari I'm wearing is the only one I have. She said, I don't have any clothes. I don't have a box or anything to keep my clothes. The sari that you see me wearing right now, this is the only sari that I have. So this is really sad. During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. So from here, Gandhiji is here in Champaran, far away from his ashram in Ahmedabad. But he's still keeping a watch there. He still knows what's going on there. He sends regular instructions by mail and asked for financial accounts. So when I say by mail, I do not mean email. It was not there at that time. By mail meaning other ways, maybe fax or maybe letter, postcards, and all those ways which existed back then. Okay. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old would begin to smell bad. So he once sent this message to his ashram that you need to do something about the latrine trenches and you need to dig new ones, otherwise the old one would begin to smell bad. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. So this was a turning point in Gandhi's life. This was the moment, this was the incident which made Gandhiji think that it was possible, that they had a way, they had a chance against the Britishers. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. I declared that the British could not order me about in my own country. So Gandhiji says to Lewis that what I did, it was nothing, it was an ordinary thing. It was not an extraordinary thing. It was just an ordinary thing. I only declared to the British that you cannot order me in my own country. You cannot force me to do things in my own country which I don't want to do. So Gandhiji made it clear to the British, and he also realized that it could be done. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate the distress of large numbers of poor farmers. This was the typical Gandhi pattern. His politics were intervened with the practical day-to-day problems of the millions. His was not a loyalty of abstraction, it was a loyalty to living human beings. So Gandhiji's politics was not only about politics, it was also about human beings and humanitarian causes. He used to always care about fellow human beings. Early in everything Gandhiji did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free Indian who could stand on his own feet and thus make India free. And everything, each and everything, whatever he used to do, he made sure that the Indians around him should be on their own, that the Indians around him should stand on their feet, and they should have the courage to face anything in the world. They should have the courage to face anything, and they should be the one to make India free. Early in the Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist who had become a devoted follower of the Mahatma Gandhi, see, this person had become his follower, came to bid Gandhi farewell before going on a tour of duty to the Fiji Islands. So he had become a follower of Gandhiji. He had come to say goodbye to Gandhiji because he was going for a tour an important work, an important tour to Fiji Island. Gandhiji's lawyers' friends thought it would be a good idea for Andrews to stay in Champaran and help them. And Gandhiji's lawyers thought, this person is an English person, and it would be a good idea, it would be good for us if he joins us, if he is supporting us, if he is a part of our team, it will be a great benefit for us. This is what the lawyers advised Gandhiji. But Gandhiji was vehemently opposed. He said, you think that in this unequal fight, it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side? This shows the weakness of your heart. The cause is just, and you must rely upon yourselves to win the battle. You should not seek a prompt in Mr. Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman. So Gandhiji says that, it shows our weakness. The cause that we are fighting for, it is for justice. We are fighting for the rights of Indians. And just because Mr. Andrews is an Englishman, you want to use him and you want him to be a part of our team, you want him to be a part of our team, our, freedom struggle. I don't think it's a very nice thing, because the cause is just, and you must rely upon yourselves to win the battle. An Indian should rely on himself. You should have the courage. You should rely only on yourselves. So Gandhiji was trying to motivate them. Gandhiji was trying to tell them that we are enough for this fight. We are enough. Our courage is enough to win this battle. He had read our minds correctly, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad said that he read our minds correctly. He was not wrong. Rajendra Prasad commented, and we had no reply. Gandhi in this way taught us a lesson in self-reliance. And this way Gandhiji taught us to rely on ourselves only, that we are self-sufficient. Self-reliance, Indian independence, and help to sharecroppers were all bound together. So self-reliance, to be सिर्फ खुद पे डिपेंड करना, self-sufficient होना, और इंडिया का इंडिपेंडेंस और इन sharecroppers की मदद करने जाना, they were all bound together and they played an important role for India to get free from the British. So what have we learned from this story? We have learned that with consistency, with hard work, with determination, with never say die, with never give up attitude, with courage, we can move mountains. Yes, together we can do it. If you are facing any difficulty, any problem in your life, I pray to God that you'll be able to move all the difficulties, to overcome all the fears. You'll be able to move all the mountains. So this is it for today. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you very soon again. I really enjoyed spending this time with you. Peace be with you. God bless you.